Good evening, ladies, and welcome to this week's episode of Collage. I'm your host, Shayma Amin, and of course I'd like to welcome you all. I'd like to thank you all for all the feedback I've been getting. We are coming to you live from Ministry of Information, KTV2, Studio 80. And yes, I'm reminding you once more that we are live throughout the full show. We're going to be with you for a full hour with great segments lined up for you. So you can always call in whenever you please. You can call in. I'm going to run down what we have lined up for you for today. Of course, we actually had an Outlook report. Now this week we will not have an Outlook report for you, but we have great segments lined up. We're going to focus more tonight on the Q&A segment because I have been neglecting it for the past 2 weeks, but I have received plenty of emails that we would like to actually answer or talk about tonight. And of course, it's another thank you once again for all of you who sent in their feedback or any questions regarding our show. And now that's one thing. So we do apologize. We will not have our Outlook report today, but we do guarantee that we're going to have a great report lined up for you next week from Strands on the latest haircuts and the latest hair colors. So that's next week. Now this week we're going to have, as usual, our live interview, and our guest is with us here in the studio. I'm going to mention her later on. And of course we have our exercise segment with Ray. That's your personal trainer, Coach Ray. He's going to be giving us a few helpful tips as usual on great exercises that do not take time, just basically a few minutes a day, just to fit it into your busy schedules. We all know everyone's busy, we're all busy, but we're trying to fit in a little bit of exercise a day for you. So that's with your personal instructor, Ray. And of course we have the cooking segment for you. It's quite long today, but believe me, the dish is delicious. It's actually tonight we have a warm salad for you, and it's duck and mushrooms. So looking forward to that. Of course, both our exercise and cooking segments are compliments from Le Méridien Kuwait. That's Le Méridien Hotel Kuwait. It's compliments from them. They've been very kind. We've been shooting there, and they have been very helpful. So that's for two of our segments today. And of course, we have our live makeup segment. Of course, our professional makeup artist, Vimy, is going to be here with us tonight, as every week. And we'll be discussing, I won't really tell you, I'll just have Vimy tell you what we're going to be discussing tonight. And that's basically it. Of course, it's Q&A. We're going to be reading emails, and we're going to be reading them to you. We're going to be telling you what can be done, giving you answers, or we're going to tell you, that we'll email you later on with the information requested from you. And of course, our telephones are on your screens right now. They're scrolling as I speak. Please feel free to pick up the phone and call us anytime during the show. And now I don't want to keep my guests waiting any longer. Our guest for this evening is very special. Our guest for this evening is Mrs. Maria Garnett. Mrs. Maria is a nutritionist, but not any kind of nutritionist. Mrs. Maria truly believes in healing with nature. So today we're going to have an interview, a very interesting interview, going back to Mother Nature. Mrs. Maria, good evening.
Good evening. I thank you very much, Shayma, for this wonderful introduction.
Thank you for being with us.
And I want to say very good evening to all our listeners and viewers, and a special good evening to my clients who most probably watch us this evening. And it is a great pleasure.
Well, Mrs. Maria, the topic today, going back to Mother Nature, all of this is beautiful, and we need hours and hours to speak about it, but unfortunately we don't have much time. But basically, what are your beliefs, and why did you choose to pursue a career in healing by nature?
I like always to say after Prophet Muhammad, who said in Quran, stomach is the house of all the diseases, and diet is number one remedy. Now this implies that because diet is number one remedy, wrong diet causes a lot of diseases, and this is definitely the truth. Also, I would like to read to you definition of a disease by Hippocrates, who was a father of modern medicine, and he said, I find diseases are crises of purification, of toxic elimination. Symptoms are the natural defenses of the body. All diseases are but one. Their cause is also but one. They manifest themselves by means of different symptoms according to the location in which they appear. Hippocrates, 460 BC.
Wow, that's such a long time ago.
Such a long time ago.
Mrs. Maria, actually, so basically what this means is that all the diseases that we get are due to our wrong diets and due to basically that we intoxicate ourselves with the wrong food, with chemicals, with we're actually not going back to nature anymore.
This is very much the truth. I have a friend who is a biochemist, and he is living here in Kuwait, and he always reminds me that we would not have any diseases if we had pure blood, if our blood was clean. But unfortunately, as we grow older, we accumulate more and more molecules of protein and more toxicity in our blood, and that does not nourish the system very well. So we slowly suffocate.
Okay. Now, Mrs. Maria, going back to you a little bit and your beliefs. Now, who is your mentor? Who is the person that you actually admire his work and admire what he's done? And who did you actually learn most from when it comes to nature and natural remedies?
A great person whom I admire very much is Dr. Vogel. Actually, he already passed away at the age of 100 in his sleep, quietly, without any diseases. That's a natural death. And he advocated natural cures. And this is what he said. I am firmly convinced that despite the great achievements and advancement of modern medical science, we ourselves, even with the most sophisticated medical equipment, cannot do the healing. Only nature can heal and cure. We can only help and support its laws that make a cure possible.
Well, Mrs. Maria, I believe when I paid you a visit at your office, I saw Dr. Vogel's book, and it was a gigantic book, and I'd like to mention it to our dear ladies and our dear viewers that are watching right now, that he wrote the book at the age of 88 years old.
That's exactly true.
So he was perfectly normal.
Capable.
He was not senile. His mind was functioning, and he managed to write. It's really thick. The book is humongous, and it's all about natural remedies in them.
I'm sorry for interruptions, but I think it's all his life's work. He worked very hard at trying to educate the people that only nature can support their system, and unfortunately we undermine our immune system so badly that it gives in, and it gives quite often, and it gives us a lot of trouble as far as our health is concerned.
So basically what's happening right now is that we're not giving our immunity system a chance. The minute we feel sick or the minute we feel something's wrong, we just go ahead and take so much pills and so much medication that, you know, in time, your immunity system loses its function. It loses its work. Is that true?
That's true. That's very true, yes. We need to actually support our system by proper nutrition, by exercise, by proper breathing, so enough oxygen enters our system. And the healing is actually done by our system. For example, if you cut yourself, even small cut or bigger cut, it doesn't really matter, but it heals by itself. All you need to do is disinfect it, and the healing will take place. So it doesn't take, the miracle is done by our system. This is instilled in us by God, by superior being.
Right. Now, Mrs. Muir, another thing, now this was also a lot of people's beliefs on cases like this, or on the way we live, our lifestyle right now as humans, as all of the world. Not a lot of people are living a natural life. Very few. I can't say everyone, but very few are living a natural life. We're all submitted to, on a day-to-day basis, we're all submitted to pollution, we're submitted to other outer effects, outside effects from our environment, but also we tend to intoxicate our bodies with things, with our regular food, with our regular nutrition, and maybe not a lot of people know that they're doing a lot of damage to their body. Plus, medication, as you mentioned before, medication does not cure, it suppresses. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Actually, as human beings, we have certain belief system, and which prevent us from leading healthy lives, we are also habitual beings. We habitual thinkers and habitual doers. Habit prevents us from fast changes, and we actually argue very often for not being able to change. Very often you hear people who smoke. When you advise them to stop smoking, they will say, but other people smoke more, or my grandmother or grandfather smoked all their lives and they lived to be 100 years of age.
Right.
So they continuously find excuses. And this is actually detrimental to themselves, not anyone else. And because it is so difficult to change the habit, we go for easy way out. And swallowing a pill is definitely much easier than changing the long-standing habits.
Right.
It does not cure us, but we hope it will, and therefore sometimes we don't want to face the truth because it requires a change. And as I said, the change is difficult.
Right. Well, I'd like to remind our dear ladies and our dear viewers that we are coming to you live, and with us tonight is Mrs. Maria Gonnet, and we're talking about going back to nature, whether it's in our lifestyles, whether it's in our food, even in our medication. You can use natural remedies to cure and heal yourself. But I'm just going to put our phone numbers once again. If you have any questions, please feel free to call in, and they're going to be on your screens any minute. And we're going to go for a very short break, and we'll be right back. We're back once again, dear ladies, and as a reminder, with us tonight is a very special guest, Mrs. Maria Gonnet, and we are discussing going back to nature in order of healing and living a healthy lifestyle. Now, Mrs. Maria, as we were just talking, we are talking about natural things. We have just spoken about how medication does not heal, does not cure. It just suppresses your symptoms,
yes.
Right? And the only way you can actually heal is by helping your body to heal itself. Now, why don't we actually, what do you think is an option or is an advice for our viewers to prevent illness?
Well, obviously, healthy diet, so they provide a balanced diet, and as well minerals and vitamins. Very often people go for fast-losing diets. For example, if you talk about weight control, for fast-losing diets, because they are impatient and they believe that they should, the fat that has been accumulated for a long period of time should be lost in very short period of time.
Right, that's
that's not the way. Because they don't. Not only because they don't have the patience, because they are so anxious to lose and go back to the previous lifestyle. Actually, diet is a lifestyle. It's not a 6-week diet, which is usually deprivation, calorie intake that is normally lower than normal. It has to be always balanced. Your food has to be balanced, has to give you enough nutrients so you live healthy, well-adjusted life. If you deprive your system from certain nutrients, you will suffer for it and you will create diseases. Of course, your weight will go down, but it will cost you a lot. So what I advise is to adjust your lifestyle to see where you may be making a mistake and slowly, gradually implement new ideas and stay with it. Because if you go for 6-week diet or 8-week diet and then hope that you will go back to the previous diet that caused this problem in the first place, it doesn't work. And many ladies are disappointed in weight control, and you see the results that many ladies are overweight. They cannot reach their perfect weight because they go a wrong way about it.
Right, so it's the wrong intake. They deprive themselves of so many things that they should be taking, and they want to lose weight fast, which does not work because you lose it fast, you gain it back fast.
Exactly.
Again. Okay, now that we actually said ladies, Mrs. Maria, okay, and we did take an example of nutrition, which was weight control. Maybe we can go on to other women-related topics. What women can do, actually.
Okay. I would like to give to our viewers 2 tips that I advise to most of my clients, and I go by this. One is try to choose produce that is as fresh as possible and as close to natural form as possible. So you don't use produce that men cleaned, or like, for example, white flour or white sugar. God-given produce is the most beneficial to us because it contains the most minerals and vitamins and is a wholesome food. Of course, we will get some produce that is full of chemicals. We cannot avoid it. Now, when you say life close to nature, we cannot live in a village. Okay? So we have to have certain amount of toxicity in our system, but we can still do the best choices from what is available around us.
Okay, so basically try to eliminate products that have been treated by chemicals.
Correct.
Or have been
colors, preservatives, chips, whatever has been manufactured by men and altered. It's not so beneficial to our system.
Right, so we should try to avoid it as much as possible.
We should try to avoid it as much as possible, yes.
So for instance, let's just give our viewers an example. Instead of going for white flour, they can go for
brown flour. Brown flour, yes.
And the
brown bread, brown rice, or sugar, brown sugar or honey, and really limit your sugar as much as you possibly can because sugar binds calcium, and calcium is one of the most minerals in our system, and that lack of calcium causes a lot of diseases. Therefore, one should be very careful with sugar intake.
Okay, so for all the women that do like a lot of sweets, they should find a substitute for their sugar, like maybe honey. As you just mentioned.
Honey is excellent, yes, but honey should not be used in hot water like some people do because it kills the natural ingredients of honey. And use honey in moderation. I mean, honey is still sugar, but it's a healthy sugar. Right?
So basically, everything in moderation is okay. Of course, not everything. But usually, if you take regular small quantities of everything, you're fine.
I would say that animal fat should not be considered.
Of course,
probably small amounts of it, but it's not necessary for our health. However, there are some essential fatty acids that are necessary for our health, and we should ingest them. Johanna Badwick of Germany highly recommends flaxseed, and I do too.
Okay, so what is flaxseed?
It's a seed. Very similar to sesame seed, but it's brown, and it contains 2 essential fatty acids. One is called linolenic and one is called linoleic. And these fatty acids are needed for proper metabolism of fat, fat which you already accumulated. So in order to burn the fat that you already have, you need essential fatty acids to properly assimilate and burn the fat. Definitely. You cannot avoid ingesting these fats, but you can definitely do without animal fats. And people are so used to eating a lot of fats. Now, of course, they are more aware and they trim their meat from excess fat, but they still eat margarine, and margarine is man-made produce. See, it does not exist in nature. Margarine is made from liquid oil in a special process that solidifies fat, and during this process, so-called trans fatty acids are made, which are detrimental to our system. We simply do not digest them. So margarine, that was so popular some time ago, is not for us.
It's not popular
No, it's maybe it's popular for those who don't understand the problem with it. Now, a little bit of butter is probably all right, and fats like all kinds of seeds and nuts are excellent for you, but not roasted and not salted. Raw.
Okay.
Nuts have wonderful oils, and so do seeds. And sesame seed is excellent because it contains calcium. And actually, in this part of the world, you have very good habit of eating tahina. I don't know if I pronounced it properly.
Tahina,
yes. Yes, it's a produce from sesame seed. Tabbouleh is excellent. Hummus is excellent, as beans contain phosphor, and they are also very beneficial for our health. And vegetables, fruits, vegetables, of course,
are excellent for the human body.
Yes.
Now, what about women with a lot? Now we just spoke about nutrition in general, and what, of course, the list goes on, Mrs. Muriel. I'm sure there are do's and don'ts, and you know, maybe a lot of women should read more about this. But because we have very limited time, maybe we could move on to other topics. Like maybe another thing is face and skin problems.
Yes. Most ladies go for facials, and this is a cleansing of the skin. Now, I have nothing against massage and masks. These are very beneficial, but squeezing pimples and breaking the skin is definitely against my belief. There are very simple ways of exfoliating your skin. I will give you an example. You can use white sugar, which is the best for that reason. You wet your hands and then touch sugar, it will stick to your hands, and then gently massage around your face. Don't press it too hard so you don't break the skin. After gentle massage, you wash off the sugar, and you will exfoliate your skin very cheaply, and it is very beneficial. No need to buy any of the products on the market. And then you use very simple masks. Natural, yes. Honey is wonderful, yogurt is wonderful. There are many, many recipes for masks, and your skin will look very well. Of course, you have to understand that your food is still the most important.
So
if you eat wrong, of course, definitely. If you eat wrong, you will not achieve the best results. Even with masks or massage or whatever you may do, if you eat a lot of fats and candies, chocolate, like many people do here, then you will have problems with the skin.
So it's not necessary. A lot of people do believe, okay, I'm just going to use masks every day and exfoliate and do this and do that. It won't give you perfect skin if your diet is not proper.
Not at all. And I see many ladies going for facials, believing that this is the answer, but this is not the answer. I mean, pamper yourself. I have nothing against it. If it pleases you, then do so. Don't let anybody touch your face and break the skin. Squeeze pimples, not really necessary. But remember to eat well.
That's the most important.
The most important, definitely. Drink enough water, eat fruits and vegetables. Don't indulge in sugar and chocolate, and you will have very good results.
Wonderful. I just might like to remind our viewers once again that we are coming to you live, and our phone numbers are going to be scrolling on our screens as we speak right now.
Now, Shema, if I may interrupt, since we talk about skin, we mentioned facials and skin on our face. All skin diseases are reversible by proper nutrition and herbal remedies. All skin diseases. And actually, using cortisone, that is very popular in many parts of the world, including Kuwait, of course, is very detrimental to our health. Very often, people use cortisone to suppress skin diseases. And once I had a client whose hip was dissolved because of overuse of cortisone. So cortisone is so detrimental to our health. And I want to warn our viewers against overuse of it, and actually to think very well before they start using it at all.
Cortisone.
Yes.
Mrs. Maria, I believe we have a phone call. Hello. Hello.
Evening.
Good evening.
Well, I'd like to thank you for this great episode.
Thank you very much. May I have your name, please?
My name is Khalifa.
Khalifa, good evening.
Good evening to you, and good evening to Miss Maria.
Good evening.
Well, I have two questions, actually. The first one is, there are some kinds of food that contain specific nutritional ingredients that may conflict with each other. For example, bananas are used to cure diarrhea, and some vegetables are causing diarrhea. So what are the tips or, let's say, tricks to avoid this conflict? This is one question. The other question is, we have an old belief that you cannot eat fish and drink milk together. So this has this something to do with allergy or something?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Khalifa, for your phone call.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Okay. To answer your question, there are certain foods which should not be eaten together. Like fruits and vegetables should not be combined because they cause gases. Fruits are digested in the small intestine and vegetables in your stomach. So if you have food in your stomach already, fruits will not pass freely to small intestine and will not be digested well, which will create gases. There's only one fruit, an apple, which can be mixed with vegetables. Other fruits, no.
Okay.
Now, banana, of course, we all hear that it helps in diarrhea, and other fruits in different health problems. But there is no problem in mixing different fruits at the same time. Only don't mix fruits and vegetables other than apple and apple.
So generally speaking, Mrs. Maria, you should not mix different food groups at the same time, or you can, like, let's say carbohydrates and let's say proteins, or carbohydrates and, like, combinations are okay and some combinations are not?
That's true.
Okay.
But it's very difficult to change the old habit of eating protein and carbohydrates together. Now, it is better to eat them separately.
Okay.
It is better to eat proteins and carbohydrates separately with vegetables. However, that is very difficult to change. Now, the best is to eat simple meals. What we usually do is we have so many things at the same time, and that creates difficulty in digesting. So as simple as possible. Have, let's say, some vegetables and brown rice. This is so easy to digest. You will feel light. After that, you can have a small amount of mint tea. Don't drink too much after your meals, also because you're diluting digestive juices. Drink before, drink a little bit after if you have to, but not during your meals. Now, if you go to restaurants here, you see that people drink a lot of water with their meal. This is not really recommended. It dilutes the digestive juices and your digestion is jeopardized.
And what about fish and milk?
Yes, it is not proper.
Why?
Yes, I don't really know the depth of it, but I think it causes indigestion
as well.
And yes, I do not believe in cow's milk as being good for your system.
Okay, so that's so there are no specific reasons why, but it's not a good combination.
It's not a good combination. No.
Okay. Well, Mrs. Maria, I believe we have another phone call. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Good evening.
Good evening, Shaima.
How are you?
Fine.
Great. Can I have your name, please?
My name is Noel.
Noel?
Yeah, I know that is this special program for ladies, but
yes, you're always welcome. Don't worry.
I have a question for Dr. Maria.
Sure.
Actually, I have a sickness called migraine. So actually, I have visited so many doctors, and they said there is no such a cure for medicine for migraine. I just wanted to know for any cure in a doctor's way, if there is any example what type of medicine I have to take. I just wanted to know because I'm suffering for 5 years.
I'm so sorry for you.
Okay.
Of course there is a cure.
Well, thank you, Noel, for your phone call.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Of course, there is a cure, definitely.
Natural
I
remedy.
thank you, Noel, for your question. There is a natural remedy, but you see, the habitual question is, what kind of medicine should I take? So we all believe that there is certain medicine that will cure us. This is not medicine. What you need to do is detoxify your system, look at your lifestyle, and I will help you with this. We can see what you may be doing wrong to create toxicity in your system, because migraine is toxicity that appears in a form of, this is a symptom, like Hippocrates said. Symptoms are very important to our system. It's like a red light.
It's like a sign telling you something's wrong with me.
Bravo, exactly. And if we suppress them, then we can never eliminate the cause. Now, what I would suggest, we look at our lifestyle. Now, you may not be able to do this alone because you don't have the experience.
Right.
But I understand quite well the connection between migraine and your lifestyle, and I may be able to help you. And if we eliminate what you're doing wrong, you will get rid of your migraine.
Okay, I just want to tell our viewers, Mrs. Maria, that if they have any questions, any further questions for anybody that could not call in, please feel free to email us, fax us, and I will get the faxes or emails through to Mrs. Maria. Or you can call in after the show, and we'll be more than pleased to give you Mrs. Maria's number. We're going to take another caller. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Hello, good evening to you.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great.
And hello to Dr. Maria.
Hello.
Yeah. I have a question. I am anorexic.
Ouch.
Yeah, and I've been taking a lot of medicines already to overcome this sickness, but until now I'm underweight. So is there any remedy for that? You can suggest any.
Right, Jane, you're anorexic?
Yeah.
For how long now?
It's been about 5 years already.
5 years.
Yeah, and I'm already in my 40s. I'm already 42. And I find it very hard to get the proper medicine for that, and also the proper food or the fruits or whatever, because I don't want to eat meat. I prefer vegetable and fish.
So you're a vegetarian?
Not really,
Okay,
but
but you don't
I
prefer-
prefer vegetable.
Okay.
And I just eat a little bit of meat. So is there anything you can suggest for that?
Okay, thank you very much, Jane.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you. Of course, there are simple remedies. It's very difficult to give the program off the air, and I don't want to give her hope by giving her one tip, because if I just give her one suggestion, it will definitely not cure.
Right.
Now, what I can say in general is that we need to support her nervous system, and that is done by providing proper amount of vitamin B complex. Calcium also is very relaxing for the nervous system, and there are certain elements that we need to look into to cure her condition.
Right.
I believe that all is curable, but I need to have more information about the patient. Usually when a patient comes to my office, I sit about 1 hour. I ask certain questions about the lifestyle, so I base my remedy upon that. It's very difficult to say proper remedy in 1 minute.
Right. Well, Mrs. Maria, unfortunately, we've nearly come to the end of our interview, and we had so many things to talk about, but we were receiving callers from our viewers. But I just want you to give, of course, we will, if anybody has further questions, we will have Mrs. Maria, you can call us in after the show. We'll have Mrs. Maria's number for you if you'd like to speak to her after that for any consultation, or you can email us and fax us. But Mrs. Maria, as I said at the beginning of our interview, this is the subject we can talk about for hours and hours. Do you have any last words for our viewers? Because we had a male viewer, I won't say for our ladies, but for our viewers in general.
Yes. I would like to say that most of the diseases, I mean actually probably all of the diseases are reversible with proper treatment. You just need persistence, and you need to follow certain instructions, but you will eventually get balance, and you will enjoy good health, including cancer. We did not mention this, and I would like to stress it out, that it is possible to, I should perhaps not say cure, but reverse cancer. I have succeeded several times, and I'm quite certain of my way of my approach for this dreadful disease. This is a natural way of treatment without any side effects, and the results are marvelous.
Well, that's wonderful, Mrs. Maria. And of course, there's so much, as I said before, that considering cancer is one of the most fatal diseases of our century right now, then this is actually a great accomplishment that you've managed to do. As you said, you had a few cancer cases that you've managed to cure or reverse the effects of the cancer. So that's wonderful. And maybe if anybody would like to know more about this, please feel free to either email us or fax us or call in once again for Mrs. Maria's number. Thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we did not cover
most
of the
I
things.
prepared so much for the ladies.
But we hope to have you again on the show for all of our women out there, all of our viewers, because we do have male viewers right now, I just noticed. Thank you very much, Mrs. Maria.
Thank you.
And now we're going to go to another healthy way of life. And this is coming up is our exercise segment, and of course with you is your own personal instructor, Coach Ray, and today of course he has very few useful tips for us tonight. And as I said before, it's thanks to Le Méridien Hotel Kuwait for providing us with this segment. And now why don't we go and join Ray together.